Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show, and welcome to part 2 of yesterday's video, because I realized I talked so much about the DMG, and I mentioned this particular book. I would throw it in with yesterday's video about the best books on being a great dungeon master. And yes, that is in fact, I know it seems weird and counterintuitive for a dungeon master, but a game master, referee, whatever you want to call it, it's the top secret SI secret investigation or special investigations, or top secret second edition, the Administrator's Guide, by Douglas Niles, in 1987, so 1986. And mind you, there's a whole lot of top secret game material in here. The first 10 pages, deal with some very specific things that are probably not going to come up in any of your fantasy role-playing games. But if you play other games, then by all means try to read the whole book. It's only, 62 pages, and who knows, you may want to play some top secret. Lord knows I would love to be in a game of top secret, but it's the least popular genre of role-playing that I can think of, other than some things that I'm not going to mention because they're repugnant. But I'm digressing. Right off the bat, I would, if you just want to get the skinny on great GM tips and how to do it right and what not to do, and you're going to be surprised, it uses some terminology that has since been forgotten, or it doesn't use the terminology that we've later adapted, like story gaming and sandboxing. But right off the bat, it starts with special situations. I'm jumping to page 11. Special situations in gambling and ways to handle that. Intoxication and drugs, observation, special equipment, seduction, security devices, PC rewards and control, keeping characters alive, financial rewards and tangible rewards, record keeping, and then it really gets into more stuff in chapter 2, your hour upon the stage, referring to the GM or the administrator, if you will, creating extras as in NPCs, having their first impression be memorable so you can have something to mentally latch on to, generic NPCs, custom extras, creating associates and henchmen, contacts. All of these things totally have their place in every role-playing game I've ever been in. Maybe using terms that may be less comfortable, but like it goes into creating villains, motivation, resources, playing NPCs, tags, suggested NPC tags like bossy and rude, unusual walk, chain smoking, angry, frustrated, ever-present possession, cane, monocle, ring. Let's bring those back, right? Jackie's a big fan of the old monocle. Your voice, or the voice of the NPC, PC and NPC interaction, bribery, interrogation, trained fighter tactics, police tactics. Even in a fantasy game, there's going to be the constabulary or the securitat or whatever you want to call them. Playing villains and henchmen, make them very bad indeed. Balance villain NPC strength, give PCs a personal grudge. With the font of knowledge and sources of information, like using the atlas, the encyclopedia, magazines, television. Who reads magazines anymore? Am I right? That's how long ago this was. Newspaper, nonfiction books, movies, television, etc. It's like a 2-page chapter. And of course, we already know all that stuff because we're so deeply immersed into looking for more sources of inspiration. But imagine in 1987, you're new to the gaming world. This stuff would have been, worth its weight in gold. Then chapter 4 is the master storyteller, and this is where it really starts to break new ground for everybody in my circle and in my way of role playing, creating adventures. Some adventures are exactly that; they're an adventure, but you've got to kind of sometimes tailor make them to entice your players. And you've got the different kinds of players. You've got the problem solvers, you've got the role players, and then it talks about the story structure, your exposition, your development, and you're probably thinking, well, this sounds like a bunch of story gaming. It all is, and how you want to look at the story, whether it's emergent or, whether you're, railroading or what have you. And mind you, for beginners, because not everybody we run across is the 50 to 60-year-old professional dungeon master. There's still a lot of people I bump into who are very new to this, and creating the linear, because it wasn't called railroad even back then, it was called linear storytelling. You give them very few choices to get from point A to point Z. Sometimes they won't even notice it, and sometimes for the beginning dungeon master, they've got to learn to walk before, or they've got to learn to crawl before they walk. And it goes into different elements of that: the story structure, the exposition, the development, the climax, the coda, the story elements, foreshadowing, mystery, pacing, timing, all of those things. Even in an emergent game, knowing how to do those things is not a bad idea. Then the next chapter, chapter 5, is your campaign, getting the PCs started, suggested missions, things like that. Where was I think I missed the okay. Yeah, I passed on the page here. After pacing, the different types of challenge for your players, whether it's combat, investigative, exploration, or through role playing, are all things that different players. What did my dog just do? Okay, weirdo. That are going to be, enticing for some players, but not others, and knowing what your players are looking for is very helpful. And then it goes into the linear story line, which you guys would all know as the railroad, the open storyline, which is essentially the sandbox without calling it that, and then another one called the Matrix storyline, which is sort of a combination of the two, or more of a more complicated sandbox. If you go in here and you read it, it ends up, sorry about the dog, guys, being more like the the conspiracy theorist board, with all the yarn going to different things and showing all the connections, and a good role-playing game world. It will end up looking like that. You need to kind of have some sort of board or map showing the different things that they've touched upon and how they can lead to here and there and there, and not everything being, all like centered around the town or the keep or what have you. But that's essentially it. It's, to this day, I still go back and read this every once in a while, and I suggest, if you don't have it, you can get brand new copies of the Top Secret SI box set for like $20. It's still insanely cheap because nobody's today wants to play those kind of games, which is really a shame. But you can get this PDF on the internet, different places. I think Scribd has it. Reading it even once through will give you a lot of insight as to how the hobby has developed over the years, and where some of these ideas, as far as I can determine, go back to this as opposed to the internet and things like that, because this is all pre World Wide Web and that sort of thing, or at least I think it is. And this is really the beginnings of all the game and role-playing theory that we all talk about. I wish Shauna was around to have had the discussion about this, to see what he thought about it, because we never got to talk about that. But give it a try. Let me know what you think, if you've already read it, or if you're interested in playing a game of Top Secret, you want to run one, let me know, because I would love to play in it. This game has so many supplements and so many different ways to play it, different eras and different time periods. There's even a superhero version. Can you believe that? They really knocked out a crap ton of material for Top Secret. Unfortunately, I think the 90s just kind of killed it. But that's what I've got for you this morning. You guys have yourself a great weekend. I will see you in about 45 minutes for the Friday edition of Second Breakfast. I don't think we'll be going on for quite as long as we did today, that being Thursday. But I'll see you guys real soon. Until then, happy trails.